And with my 250 salary and bonuses, I probably made more than a lot of the 450 guys did just off of what I did in the 250 class. Like I said, I have a family. You have to, support them, and um, you want to win a 250 championship before you go to the 450. Yeah, it took me 10 years, but I finally got one. So this was kind of the plan all along. You win that championship, and then you get a 450, opportunity.
JB and AC, the energy was awesome. Those two are just like really finding their groove.
4 straight overall wins.
$100,000. Adam Cianciarulla.
Checkered flag and Justin Brayton.
Has won
2019 World Motocross Championship.
He's gonna do it to become the oldest winner in the history of Supercross.
Hello and welcome back to the AC and JB show. JB, before we go any further, I heard you were on some SMX this week.
I was. You heard right. I feel good, man. It's
You
so
look
good to be
good.
back on the bike. Hey, I was on stock suspension. Last week we were talking about MC and RC and those guys hitting triples on stock suspension. There wasn't a triple. There's 2 long rhythm lanes. Stock suspension. It's not great. It's not great.
did. So a few weeks ago, I think we talked about it on here. I did film the Kawasaki Science of Super Motocross segment at Glen Helen, rode the Supercross track, and we were discussing the difference, trying to show the difference between Supercross suspension and like a normal stock outdoor setting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie, it's only been a year and a half since I was racing. But when you go from, I've been riding stock stuff, outdoor stuff. When you get on a Supercross bike, dude, you're like, how did I ever ride this thing? Like those bikes, as you know, those bikes are made to go fast too.
Yes.
So if you go full, and I was a guy that always liked, my front end is like ridiculously stiff in Supercross. And if you're not going fast on Supercross suspension, it's not fun. Sometimes it's not fun anyway. Even if the setup is good, it's not fun. But dude, the difference between stock stuff and Supercross stuff, I'm surprised. I wouldn't even say surprised. I mean, you're a pro, you're skilled. I get it. Hitting downsides. Were you skimming whoops?
No
Stock
whoops.
suspension?
No whoops on the SMX track. So the only thing I was doing was rhythm lanes. I'd go double, 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 and like triple into the corner. But you gotta have that timing just right. Otherwise, we're clanking the fork. So, but I have upgraded. I got a new spec. Got a factory Honda spec on the bike that I'm riding tomorrow.
What are we preparing for, Justin? Are you just trying to stay ready?
I'll always stay ready, baby. You gotta stay ready.
I like that. I was on Peacock the other day. Just, I don't know about you, but I go back and watch old races all the time. And Anaheim 1 2022 popped up. Classic AC JB battle in the heat race, dude. You got, remember those big whoops after the finish line?
Yeah.
Those things were massive. Here you come, left side of the whoops. You were probably, I don't know, second and a half, 2 seconds behind me entering the whoops, and you had 3 bike lengths on me by the time my ass got done doubling through them. So just a nice reminder of your whoop skill.
Well, that night in the heat race with the whoops fresh like that, I felt awesome. And you were in second. So I passed you for second. Kenny was already like 4 seconds in the lead.
Gone.
And I started to reel Kenny in a little bit. And that was when him and I were real close. We were riding together during the week. And I'm like, oh man, this is my last season of racing. Like I want to get him so bad, or at least get close to him. And I took about a second out of it, and then he took it back to about 5 seconds. So
I think, isn't it funny? We'll get into Bud's Creek here shortly, but isn't it funny when you're friends with somebody that you race? It's very difficult to be intimidated by them in any capacity. Like, of course, I grew up, I started my pro career riding with Kenny, did a lot of laps with him. He's probably been my best friend in racing, I would say. And then along came Chase Sexton, and both of those guys, regardless of how unbelievably skilled they were, I mean, there was times where they were so obviously better than me But in my head, I'm like, I got these guys. Like there ain't no way I'm letting these, and they could beat me week after week, and it's still the same thing. I read the jersey number in front of me. I'm like, that's my friend. I'm coming for you.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, going back to just why I'm riding. Look, I'm going to do some riding at the SMX races on Friday mornings. Going to ride the track for the broadcast. You're going to do Vegas with me. That's going to be a ton of fun.
Vegas.
And the biggest thing is just to get my timing down. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but when I showed up at Indy and rode Jett's bike, and then we did, was it East Rutherford as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or Foxborough? Yeah, East Rutherford.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, my timing was just a little bit off, and I feel like I could only do like 2 laps decent. Yeah, so yeah, I want to come in a little more prepared to be able to do more laps, maybe even piece together the actual rhythm lanes that the guys will be doing. And I think it'll just add to the broadcast. And then, yeah, I'm just having fun riding. It's so much fun to be riding again. And I love this time of year, man. Late summer, get into fall. There's nothing like having a motorcycle and riding some SMX, and then eventually riding a little bit of Supercross. So I enjoy that more. Sounds weird, but I'd rather have a Supercross bike and ride Supercross. Even at 41, I have more fun on that than I do riding just like a random motocross track in June or July.
Supercross only guy.
SX
Supercross only. And I will say, I think that is, we've talked about it on here, but I feel like across the board from a rider standpoint, it's so much easier to practice Supercross.
Yeah.
Your days are shorter. You're less dirty. It's just in and out. You're not going to a public track. You don't have to deal with other riders. Like, I feel like Supercross is for sure like the preferred training during the week for the guys. I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I had to wash my bike a few times this summer after riding at Club MX. 30 minutes to wash it. I mean, I've got sand down my back. You got sand everywhere. And it's hot. It's nasty. Another thing, when you get older and have kids, the kids just started school last week.
Oh, yeah.
I've got all day free. Let's go ride some motorcycles. So it's good timing.
I'm going to fly in early for Charlotte. We're going to golf. Maybe you find a green bike for me. You want to pull up. I still got a couple laps in me, Justin. I got a couple laps in me. And sore subject on the whole washing the bike thing, because since I did that little ride day at Glen Helen a couple weeks ago, I'm pretty certain, the bike's in my garage dirty, and I'm pretty sure the frame is probably stained with the dirt from Glen Helen. So I need to figure it out, dude.
Well, you need to get a hold of your buddy Oscar, because, Prado was down at Club MX for a long time. Is there still a bike in the garage, you think, down there, or is that gone?
You think Oscar is kind of bummed out that he took the time to go to South Carolina?
Dude, he was there a lot.
A lot.
He was there a lot. The whole team, actually. They stayed in a hotel. Like, I can ride my bicycle. I could go jog right now 1.5 miles and be at the hotel that they were staying at. It's a really cool area of Charlotte, but they were here a lot, man. A lot of the guys from the team. So
should we start off with the positives? Or, I mean, since Prado got brought up, I mean, it's natural. It's hard because we have been, we've been vocal about, what we think of that situation, but there's like new drama every week, it seems like. I don't want to stay on the topic and like harp on it too much, but this weekend, I don't know what happened in qualifying. What happened in qualifying? 43rd. Were we trying not to make the gate?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you would have to, somebody that good, as good as him, you would have to try your very best to be outside the top 40 in time qualifying. You'd have to try your very best. And he did it.
He did it. Hey, he did pull. One thing I will say, we'll start off with a positive. That first start, all the way outside, I don't know if you saw a picture somebody posted on Instagram, but he had like 4 bike lanes on everybody else. So he still, remember before the season started, we're like, Prado's going to get every start.
Yeah. Every
single start. But let's circle back around. Let's circle back around to this. Let's start with the positives. So I don't think we had a chance to talk about it on the show last week, but Cole Davies, who's been, I mean, he basically went from pretty much unknown besides kind of hardcore Supercross fans to like basically a star from the beginning of Supercross to the end. Everybody knows Cole Davies now. He's going places. He's going to win titles, win a lot of races. Came in, got hurt at Salt Lake. That was a terrible crash. Happy to see him back. Unadilla, a very tough track to make your debut on, especially the way it was last weekend. But he won a moto this weekend. Justin went 23 or something. Yeah. I couldn't have imagined Cole not scoring points in his debut because we've seen what he can do. But comes out, I mean, he got third in the moto, technically, but Joe Shimoda, Haiden Deegan did something on a red cross flag at some point. I didn't see it. And, he ends up winning the race. Justin, I mean, kid's back.
Well, sort of, because we went 23-23, 17? Yeah, 17.
I think so.
17 second moto. So are we back? I mean, which one's the anomaly here? But he looked great first moto. I mean, like you said, he did. Basically ended up third, but with Shimoda and Deegan both jumping on that red cross. So after the red flag, they came around. There was a red cross out. They both jumped and they got docked. So Davies ends up with the win, and I think that's all you needed to see from Cole Davies for next year. I think this is all about, these two races were all about getting ready for SMX. I think he's going to be very competitive for SMX. I think he'll be a top 5 guy. Go into Supercross, he's going to be great. Just like you said, he's been amazing. We praise him every week on Race Day Live when they were on the West Coast. He was challenging Haiden Deegan all season, his technique, all of it, amazing. But the one caveat to all this was, like, there was rumors that he's not as good in motocross. Well, he's obviously got the skills to be great at motocross. So he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be good at both. Think about a guy like Julien Beaumer. We've seen some signs of life in motocross, but not quite yet. And get well soon, Julien. He had a crash. That's what brought out one of those red flags. But yeah, I think that's all we needed to see with a good start. We'll say Budds Creek. I don't know if you agree, but it is so start dependent, man. And for me personally, I looked forward to going there because I knew I would get good starts. And I always felt like it was easier to go fast at Budds Creek. If you weren't a great motocross rider, you mentioned Unadilla, you got to be a great motocross rider to do well at Unadilla. I think Budds Creek is quite the opposite. I've had great results there, and I wasn't that great of a motocross guy. I think about guys like Malcolm Stewart have had great results there. He's good at motocross, but
Justin Bogle.
Justin Bogle's done really well there. We mentioned Will Hahn. We're talking about Will before the show started. He's had some good results there. And now Cole Davies gets a moto win. So I don't know. Do you think there's something to that? Do you think it's so start dependent and it's hard to make up time that you can say just be a couple % off the top guys and still be able to run with them on that specific track?
Well, you make a good point, and I think there are sections on Budds Creek. Take after the finish line, for example. You go down, drop in, go by the podium there. You make that sweeper up the hill, and then the little switchback section before you do the step down. It's basically single file.
Yeah. And
then fast forward a couple corners when you get up to the off cambers there, it's same thing. So as a rider, in places like that, you're basically you can get past. It's just very difficult to get past. So I do think there are a lot of spots on that track where it becomes single file, and it's definitely harder to pass. There was times there where I was really fast but got a bad start, and it's really difficult to come through the pack there unless you're 2003 James Stewart. And then, like you said, the start, that was the only place I always hated starting on the inside. Like I kind of wanted a sweeping angle into the first turn. And that was the only place, if I qualified fastest, I was going all the way inside. Because we saw it this weekend with the red flag, and we'll talk about that whole debacle. But a lot of the times, and we saw it with Prado on the outside too, just the way they end up when they drop the blade to rip the dirt up, most of the time they don't get the very edge of the track. So that's what going to the inside gate's risky. You get a bad jump, it's over. But I always liked going inside there. Besides anywhere else, no. Budds Creek, just a beeline to the first turn, go about 2 miles an hour, creep around the inside. Everybody else goes wide, and it's no problem. It's smooth sailing. But Yeah, for Cole Davies, I think that having it's such a small sample size, and he really was out a fair amount of time. I'm not sure how much time he had on the bike before he made his debut at Unadilla, but I think that's after Unadilla going as bad as it did. I think seeing what he could do in that first moto. Look, he was not on pace with Joe or Haiden. He's not quite there yet. But I did think, even though it's Budds Creek, and you make a good point, little supercrossy, little start dependent, I think that's going to go a long way for him going into outdoors next year. And it's funny because if the opposite happened with Cole Davies, if he made his debut at the start of outdoors, say last year, and he was as good as he was in Supercross this year, and then he went into Supercross and got 12th or something, talk about a panic button. Like everybody be smashing that thing. But when you're that good, this Supercross only guy, when you're that good at Supercross, I think it buys you a lot of leeway to kind of do your thing in outdoors. Because how many guys do you know? We had Cooper Webb on the show a few weeks ago talking about he didn't have any pressure from the team at all. If you deliver in Supercross, like the team basically just expects you to show up at the pro motocross races with a good attitude, try as hard as you can, of course. But I think it's way less, the team is way less quick to panic if you're not up front during outdoors, which, look, outdoors is important. And I think that it's a purest form of racing. But for Cole, he's so good in Supercross that I think the next 5 years or so, team's just going to tell him, yeah, man, just go out there and try to figure it out.
Well, I have a funny story about that. So my first contract that I signed for six figures, it was 150 or 175 for KTM in 2008. I sat down with the boss at the time, and he slid the contract in front of me. And it was, I read it. I was making 40 grand the 2 years before that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like six figures. Then to me, it's like, I'm loaded. Where's the Lambo shop? Where are we going to dinner? Where's the steak restaurant? Like we're rich, right? And he straight up said to me, we're signing you for Supercross. We don't really care how you do outdoors. Because at that point I hadn't done anything in motocross. I might've gotten a sixth or something. So he straight up said, we're paying you for Supercross. And I was signed for many more contracts with those exact same words said. So that's what matters the most. Supercross is what pays the bills for most of the teams. And then also you think about the negotiation period. So let's say, for instance, a guy's contract is up at the end of next year, at the end of 2026. A lot of teams are already talking and kind of figuring out where the pieces of the puzzles fit for 12 months down the road, So you're already talking at Anaheim, or even as a rider. I don't know if you were thinking this way when your contract was up, but you're thinking, who am I going to start talking to for 2027 already right now? And then you get to Anaheim and you get a couple good results. And as soon as you get those few good results, now the phone's ringing. Now you're calling teams. So it literally starts now, and then it really ramps up January, February, March. And then you typically have your deal in place before the first gate drop even happens of pro motocross, for a lot of, especially a top guys, and if you're doing well in Supercross. So you're totally spot on. He's buying himself a lot of time, but in saying all that, he just proved he can do really well in motocross too. So that's even better.
Yeah, as long as you're not an embarrassment out there, you can't be a factory guy, rolling around in 18th every time. But as long as you're passable, I think you can get away with it. And like we talked about, I think seeing the things that he can do on a motorcycle, seeing the way he already kind of knows how to win a race. We saw that during Supercross. He gets it. He gets the racecraft. He has the skill. So I think it's just a kind of a matter of time. And if I had to guess, I would guess that he's spent a lot more time on Supercross the last few years, because if you're a young guy coming in, trying to get a factory ride, trying to make a name for yourself in this sport, you would be silly to focus on outdoors over Supercross. Mm-hmm. Like Supercross is, you do well in Supercross, teams are probably going to ignore some of your outdoor results. And like if you were to, come in the SMX next and win Anaheim 1 in that class, and then you go to Loretta Lynn's later in the, in the summertime and you don't do well, it's not going to affect your value as much. Switching gears a little bit, Haiden Deegan, we got to give him his flowers. Champion. We kind of knew this was going to happen before the gate even dropped at Fox Raceway, but he did it. That's the end of his 250 career. We had a fun little comparison between him and Jett's career, 250 career last week that really got the people going, dude. I don't know if you saw some of those Instagram comments, but dude, sometimes I feel bad dropping stuff like that on social media and then just everybody just going at each other, JB. I mean, I guess that's the business we're in, right?
I guess, but some of the comments like didn't even make sense.
Yeah, they thought, some people thought that we were comparing Jett's 450 career to Hayden's 250 career, and I'm just like, dude, come on. Come on. Critical thinking. But no, Haiden did it. He was dominant as to be expected. Joe kind of came on strong towards the end of the year, got some wins, big win at Unadilla, but Haiden went out on top. That's it. I was wondering what you thought because I just saw this sometime yesterday. But so the first moto, before the red flag, Joe Schmoda, I think he was lined up 5 from the inside. Haiden was either all the way inside or one over. Joe got a great jump and, of course, came over to the left. I didn't think it was anything too crazy, but apparently, I was watching the press conference, apparently after Moto 1, Deegan has some pretty choice words for Joe coming over on him on the start. And I'm like, I get it. I get if you're Haiden and you're just aggro, right? This is your competitor. You're trying to win a championship, trying to win a race. And that's just the way things go sometimes. But I think it's pretty much fair game on the start. Like if you're lined up 5 from the inside, Justin, I don't care who is on your inside. If you get the jump, you have to come over. Like you have to come over. And not to mention that the dirt was harder on the left side. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective here, you see Joe get a great jump, and you just got to come left. You got to go to the left to protect that inside. Haiden was a little upset about that, but like I was saying, I really do think it's kind of a fair game situation on the start, JB. Am I wrong there? Am I right there? No. Give it to me straight.
I mean, I'll shoot it to you as straight as I possibly can. That's absolutely fair game. And you have to think, if you're Joe, the one person that you need to beat off the start is Haiden. If you can beat Haiden off the start, you feel like you can beat everybody else. It's been those two going 1-2 for a long time now. They're the 2 best guys of the summer. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'll take it one step further, is if what happened to Joe in qualifying practice happened to other guys, myself, maybe you, when Haiden came over the top of the hill and roosted him, it's absolutely fair game, and more than what happened on the start straight is fair game. So, yeah, I think that's just, Haiden doing his thing.
Yeah.
But that's 100% racing no matter what. And like I said, taking it one step further, if that happened to anyone else in practice, or if that happened to me, I know we're probably having words after that, or I'm roosting him back, or there's something going on there, not just me cutting him off the start, which is totally normal, especially on that start.
The only time I've ever gotten intentionally roosted, it happened to me twice, and I'm going to give you one guess who did it both times. One guess, Justin.
I have no idea.
He's got the same initials as you.
Oh, Barsha?
Oh yeah. But dude, I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was I think it was Indianapolis 2023, leaving practice, and I'm pretty sure I grabbed him by the helmet, which is that's not normally my style, right? Like, dude, I lost it. But I think in this scenario, like, do I condone roosting your competition in qualifying? I mean, whatever, dude. Whatever. I mean, if you're Joe, you're annoyed about it, you're mad about it, but I don't know. I think if you're gonna play the game, which that's Hayden's deal, he plays the game. He wants to get in the head of his competition, kind of rattle them, and I also think it's a way for Haiden to stay engaged in what he's doing. I think some people like the conflict like that. It makes them more focused, makes them better. I don't have any problem with it. at the end of the day. The only thing I will say is that if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta know the guy is gonna come over on you on the start, right? And that to me is fair game. Like if you can be mad about it if you want, but I don't quite understand the the outrage when kind of that's the game that Haiden is playing, right? You can't really necessarily be mad when somebody does it back to you. That's the only thing I will say about that. But I think Joe's done a pretty good job like this season of kind of because I don't know the best way. I don't know the best way to go about dealing with antics and stuff like that. You and I have talked about it a little bit off air. We talked about it. You and I were always throwing hypotheticals at each other with when Chase Sexton and Cooper Webb were going at it for the Supercross championship. I feel like Joe's done a good job of kind of being playful with it. Even when they asked him about it in the press conference, like he kind of had a smile on his face. He was eating a popsicle. I feel like kind of that's what you got to do, right? You kind of just got to laugh at it.
Yeah, Joe's played it to perfect. He really has. And I think you're right about Haiden with he has to bring that out of himself, or I guess when he does that sort of stuff, it brings the best version of himself out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And there's a lot of top athletes that have done that before, not only in our sport, other sports, that love the conflict. And then if you really buy into it, actually on a little bit of a smaller scale, maybe not roosting and such like that, but Cooper Webb, he's a gamer like this. He likes the conflict. He likes people to come at him, and then it brings the very best out of him. And it seems like that's what Haiden is doing, is just he's trying to bring the best out. He looks a little bored in the class. He's been the best guy now for a long time. Joe had a little bit of a run there, but Haiden was a little bit injured. And then Haiden makes the comment, when he wants to win, he wins.
When I want to win, I win. And that's what I do.
And you can't really say much about that because he has.
He has.
He truly has. When he wants to win and when it's time to get it done, he gets it done. He didn't have to this weekend. He could have rode around in 10th or 5th or 3rd or whatever he wanted to, but he wanted to make a statement going into SMX, and I have to applaud that because it's really, really difficult. Once again, just comparing it to myself, I know I haven't won championships at that level, but you think about a smaller scale. If I'm going to win a championship in Australia or trying to win something overseas, there's a lot of pressure that last race of just like, oh, you only have to get X. Let's just say you only have to get 10th. Most of the time, the people, they'll get 6th or 5th or 4th or whatever and just kind of just clinch it. Hayden's not that way, man. And it's really hard. You cannot teach that. The kid's got so much grit and determination and just, I'm here to win. And once again, we've talked about it time and time again. I can't wait till next year this time. I just can't.
Me neither.
Can't see it. I cannot wait to see where that mindset puts him in the 450 class.
How about his comments in the press conference? Did you see that? Who's going to sit next to the king?
I didn't see that.
No, dude, awesome. I think with with Haiden, and we've talked about it. That's kind of the main. Haiden and Jett are, of course, the main talking points because they're the most dominant guys in each of the classes. So it's natural that this kind of rivalry is already brewing. There's been some comments from Haiden here and there. I really, at the end of the day, I think it's great for the sport. Awesome. Haiden doesn't mind being the villain. Yeah. It's been a long time since we had some. I mean, you could say somebody like a Jason Lawrence was kind of that way, and he brought a lot to racing. But I can't remember a guy, at least in my time, that has been as dominant as him, has won as much as him, and been that way. So I think that has tremendous upside for the sport. And I applaud his bravery just to be himself. And like you said, he has been backing it up. And I was on the golf course last week. I had a guy that I would never think watches racing. And he was asking me, oh, will Haiden have anything for Jett when he goes to the 450 class? And when I look at those two ride a motorcycle, they, of course, both, we compared their 250 careers, very similar. Both of them are great in their own way. I would say, based off their riding styles, that Jett's kind of style, his efficiency, that matches a 450 better. It looks like he goes fast a little bit easier than Haiden goes fast. That's completely objective, just my view on it, right? But this is why I think that Haiden will figure out how to win, is between the ears. Like I don't need to know anything else about how he's riding the 450 or what his plans are in terms of changing his training, or I don't need to know anything other than what is between the ears for Haiden. That to me is enough for him to be able to get to that level and be a guy that can be on the podium all the time, that can win races.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The one thing I will say that I'm really excited about is we've often wondered how much Jett has. He wins by 4 seconds. He wins by 5 seconds. Does he have more in the tank? And then you see him get past, and within 30 seconds, he's made the pass back and put 5 seconds on that person. So I really believe what this is going to do, we're going to see the best version of Jett Lawrence as well when Haiden moves up. Because in my opinion, I don't think he's going to want to beat Haiden just by 2 seconds one moto, or 4 seconds one moto. I think there's going to be motos where he's going to want to prove a point, and we're going to see the very best version. And don't forget about Hunter.
Don't forget about Hunter, dude.
Don't forget about Hunter. I mean, there's other guys that Hayden's going to have to deal with. So
for sure,
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I personally think you're 100% right. It's going to be between the ears for Haiden to get it done if he can challenge those guys. I think it's going to be a tough task. His rookie season on a 450, we've both been there. We know what it takes to be at the highest level or feeling the very best you can on the 450. And that first 12 months is tough. It's really, really tough to try and set up your motorcycle, expect how the track is going to, be second moto and how the bike is going to feel. But he's got a great team, a lot of great people behind him. And yeah, he'll be good. He'll be great. But can he win? TBD.
And another thing he has going for him, he doesn't have to race Justin Brayton.
Please.
Right there. That's a big difference between him and I's career right there. I had to race Justin Brayton. He doesn't.
That heat race.
That heat race.
Also, don't forget about this guy, RJ Hampshire, fresh out of the 250 class, his rookie 450 season, 21 motos inside the top 10, 11 motos inside the top 5, second overall at Ironman this year. The man, RJ Hampshire, joining us now. Cool. RJ, thanks for taking the time to join us on the show today. What's a Monday like for you? Where you at today and what you up to?
Yeah, just in Florida, hanging out. We kind of have a mellow week, so not too much going on. Just have a Florida shower going on. But that is hanging out with the fam.
And so kids, I see kids in school yet? You have school drop off yet or no?
No, she's my wife stays home, so they just do homeschool
nice.
right now. Yeah,
nice.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
So you're in the Claremont area, RJ. Before we get into this unreal rookie season you had, has anybody tried to get you into golf yet in Claremont?
Yeah, no. I mean, I love golf. It's just being able to do it like consistently. It does not have. I mean, I don't understand how these guys do it. Like, man, I'm either fighting an injury or something where I can't swing a golf club. So it went almost 2 years where I couldn't even swing a golf club. But yeah, I love it. I'm not too good at it, which I'm sure that's kind of the normal around here. But we do have some sweet courses.
Yeah, you do. We do have some sick courses in Claremont. JB and I have a big match coming up here before Charlotte SMX. But we were just talking off air, and I've talked about this on the show before. But I don't think many people realize this. Like, we're pretty close in age. We grew up racing each other, Gold Cup, Winter Ams, Amateur Nationals, and then you kind of dropped off the face of the planet there for a second, and you were talking. You actually quit dirt bike racing for 5 years. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. We raced a lot growing up, but we weren't racing. I was out there. I mean, you were the guy just kind of dominating at that point. I just really didn't have a really interest in racing for a lot of it. I went to public school, played baseball, just did the kind of normal kid life. And I had a bad wrist injury, I believe it was, kind of on that 65, 85 area. And yeah, just pretty much raced on the weekends, did Date City here and there. Didn't think I had a future necessarily in dirt bikes. So kind of, like I said, did the normal kid life and went to high school, played baseball all the way up till, yeah, probably 15, 16. And it's like, man, if I'm going to come back racing, we're going to take it serious. And that's kind of whenever this whole change and outlook on dirt bikes happened.
Man, I think I remember that because when you came back to racing, because Jordan Smith you guys raced a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and I remember watching Loretta Lynn's, and it was like RJ Hampshire coming in, and you didn't take Jordan's ride, but you kind of got the Geico ride by battling Jordan, right? And then you won Loretta's or something, I believe. I remember being a huge fan of yours because I heard the story of you raced, a little bit growing up, you didn't take it too serious, then you played high school baseball, and I love the story because I can relate. Went all the way through school playing sports. So that's when you really started to take it serious, and that's when you became on the map, basically. Was that year like 16, 17 years old?
Yeah, I'd say about so Tim Ferry took me in when I was about 16, 17 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I ever trained, ever did anything kind of, serious in the sport. Yeah, Timmy took me in and honestly opened up so many doors. Yeah, I got my Geico ride in 2014, I believe it was. And that was even, I shouldn't have had it. I had a good friend, Eric Grondel, who really kind of stepped in and took care of me. His dad also was almost flipping the bill for me to have that ride. So it wasn't really necessarily supposed to have it. And then my last amateur year is the first time I've actually won something. I started, Monster Cup was my first win, really, that was actually kind of big. And then Minios, won, a bunch there, and then Loretta's. So yeah, that was kind of the whole turning point in it all.
And I'm thinking to myself, both you guys talking about going to public school. I'm like seeing this guy come out amateurs on a 05 450 Honda, just started winning everything. And I'm like, dude, I've been homeschooled since second grade. Like, what's this dude coming straight out of high school baseball, straight to the show? And then I remember the first couple years on Geico, dude. And I've told these stories so many times, but it didn't matter what place I was in on the track. You and I could have been battling for 15th or second. And dude, you were one guy, and I think I speak for most of the guys out there on the track still. You're one guy I just never wanted behind me, dude. I'm like, this guy is he's never going to stop. He's never going to quit. You could have your handlebars hanging off the bike and you'd still be giving it everything. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of an encapsulation of your career so far. I feel like you've kind of scratched and clawed for everything that you have.
Yeah, and it's crazy you explain kind of two different paths to our sport. You have that path where guys are homeschooled their whole life, train nonstop, and they have so much knowledge coming into that, rookie year or your first few years at pro, where I struggled. I struggled like crazy, and you guys can see it. It took me so many years to just learn and adapt. I mean, even just so far as riding California track. Like the first time I ever went out west was whenever I was 18 years old. And those California tracks are a lot different than these East Coast tracks. So it's so much learning, and who knows, my career could be completely different. If I did have that knowledge coming in, I mean, I could be retired at 25, 26, and instead I'm 29 and it's my rookie season on a 450. But yeah, just so many different paths, and mine's the path I'd say less taken. And yeah, to be here at 29 years old and still feel like I've got a lot left in me, it's cool. I mean, kind of shows that anything can happen. Believe in yourself and have that grit, like you just talked about. Like, it doesn't matter what it takes. Like, you're gonna get everything I have on the weekends.
Yeah, I love it, man. Enough about how we got here. Rookie 450 season. Look, the joke's been on you for a long time, RJ. You know that the joke's been on you. You even talk about it yourself. The 250 career was great. You're a Supercross champion, but there was a lot of moments. We all know there was a lot of moments. We have not seen hardly any moments on the 450. You've got 21 motos inside the top 10. You got a podium at Ironman this year, second overall. Like, this has been unbelievable. What a great summer it's been.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. And you talk about like the joke of it. Um, ma- uh, just to kind of relate to that this weekend, watching the PGA Tour and you see someone like Fleetwood finally get a win. Like, dude, I felt like that same kind of feeling as him to finally get that championship, Supercross championship. Like, you're so close, you're supposed to do it, never happens, and then finally pulled it off. And you just hear for so many years, like even at the practice track, like, Aldo would give me crap, like, oh yeah, just wait till the 450s. Like even Malk even kind of throws dabs here and there, leading up to it. Yeah, man, just wait till you're in the 450 class. Like it's no joke. And it's just so many times, like I knew I could ride a 450 well. You don't want to be overconfident. Um, but I knew I would be good. I didn't know necessarily where I would be and kind of stack up. And don't get me wrong, I still have moments. They're probably not as big as what they were, but I just feel like having that power, you're able to get out of those situations a little bit easier than that 250. Because the 250, I mean, for myself at least, I'm 100 and, I'm maxed out the entire time. So those little mistakes, you can't recover from them. Like they hit you so fast. Um, and this 450, like having that power to, pick and choose lines, man, it's been awesome. And it's been refreshing too. Like, you said, I've been in the 250 class for so long and it drains you, man. Like I was at this point where who knows if I'd ever have a shot at racing a 450. Who knows if I'll ever win a championship. And you kind of get that doubt and start believing like, hey, maybe it's not for me. And yeah, just to finally get this opportunity. And it was honestly, it was on me. Like this wasn't in my contract to race a 450. Like I was supposed to be on a 250 again this year. This whole Austrian group, like they agreed after my championship last year, like they were going to give me this opportunity. So it's not like had a massive pay raise or something just to go race at 450. This was my choice to go do it, and yeah, it's been, man, a heck of a summer.
If in, if anything, you're probably taking more of a risk because it's a lot easier in the two. Look, it's hard no matter what, but it's a lot easier in the 250 class to make bonuses. 450 class, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. And one of the question I had for you is, it seemed like you were in the 250 class a while, obviously. And I feel like you were definitely at risk of being like a 250 lifer, like a 250 guy. But I feel like somewhere around 2023 off season, like typically when you get a guy like yourself that had, 7, 8 years in 250 class, normally it's like, this is what they are. They're not going to get much better than this. But that's where I feel like you're different. I feel like you made a massive step before winning your 250 Supercross championship. I feel like something shifted. I mean, you're still you on the track. You're going to have your little moments. I mean, we all do. But what changed? Because there was a long time where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be, I don't know if RJ, I mean, I know how good you are, but I'm not sure if you were going to be that good. But you really, towards the end of your 250 career, dude, you turned the corner and now you're here. Like what did change in your last couple of years?
I mean, it's kind of just how you talk. Like you hear everybody talking and you start to believe what you hear. And I heard it for so many years. And um, I've had the same story written for 8 years in a row. And it is very difficult to change that script. And I fought it for years. I mean, yeah, of course I don't want to go out there and crash my brains out and, get hurt or whatever. Like no
Yes.
one wants that to happen. It just happens and it happens so fast. And like after my ACL, I had my wrist injury, I had a shoulder injury. Like you have so many years where it just keeps stacking up. I mean, AC, you know it better than any of us. Um, you lose kind of hope, but I kind of took the turn you'd say, yeah, 22, 23. I have a family now. I have girls, two little girls. And whenever you put so much stress and pressure on your job, it starts to, like, it's hard to step back and kind of see the big picture. And, my family honestly is what done it. Like, I can, there's so much bigger to it than going out racing dirt bikes. Like, yeah, it's awesome. Like, we're blessed to do what we do. I mean, even you guys to have, this platform, it's unreal. But whenever you have something bigger, you don't put that stress and pressure, on racing, which is, yeah, what you've seen. It's like yeah, I go racing. I enjoy it. I love it. But that's not me. I mean, my family is, and it's cool. I mean, just to have that job, I'd say, it's unreal. But to come home to my girls and everything else, like that's so much more and important to me.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, RJ, is years ago, like I would say even like the RC era, when riders started to have kids, it was like, oh, they're done, right? They're starting to have kids, they got their mind off of it. And then I experienced it myself. And why I bring this up is because I lived through it, what you're going through now. And I felt like anytime I would go to the track and go away from the track before I had kids, it was 24/7 dirt bikes. Like I could not get my mind off of motorcycles. Oh, what am I going to do for suspension tomorrow? What line am I going to take? As soon as I had my first daughter, it was like I put my helmet on and I'm 100% a racer. The second I walk in the door, I'm 100% a dad and a husband. And it unlocked something that I didn't know could be unlocked from basically 30 years old to 36. Had the best time of my career. And you're just getting into that. So talk about that a little bit more. And have you felt that same way with your family?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's like you just said, like there's so much more to it. And being able to separate yourself, like my daughters don't care what I do on the weekend.
Hmm.
And now like my oldest, she thinks like for instance at Indiana, I got back on the podium and she was like, "Yeah, you won. Like you won again." I was like trying to explain to her like, "No, hey, like I got second. Like, it was sick, awesome." And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, "Yeah, Dad, like I'm happy you won again." I'm like, "All right." So anytime we're on the podium, she thinks we won. And then
That's
I did
great.
win Daytona or whatever, and then she's like, "Yeah, you won the championship." I was like, "No, I mean we won the weekend, but it just goes to show like they have. I mean they know now, like they're old enough to
Mhm.
know, it's a pretty big deal like that. We get to go racing dirt bikes and we fly and travel and get to experience so much." But just to see it in their eyes, like they don't care if I go out there and get 15th or win on the
Mhm.
weekends. Like I still come home and same guy that I was, before I left. Which is, I wish people are racers in our sport, even at the top right now, could experience what it's like to have kids and to have a supportive wife, and I don't have to go out and hire someone to tell me I do good on the weekends or tell me the truth. Like my best friend's my wife and two little girls, so that I wish people could see it differently at the top right now, because I feel like it would honestly help them massively.
Yeah, every time I hear that, I could never figure out the whole relationship kids thing when I was racing. And when I hear you guys talk about that, I'm like, dude, I missed out because I needed some perspective. You need to know when you have a bad weekend, when you get home on Sunday, like, dude, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. World's not ending. But switching gears a little bit, RJ, when you're in the 250 class, regardless of how good you do on a 250, I think there's still a little part of you that's asking yourself if you can do it at the next level. So there's definitely a process of kind of proving it to yourself. Did that take you some time? I mean, this summer, I feel like you've gotten consistently better over the course of the summer, but did you feel like you kind of had to prove it to yourself that you had it?
Yeah, I'd say so, and especially how my Supercross season ended. Um, Looking at my career, that was probably the lowest point, like for me, I'd say. Um, Man, I was devastated. Like I didn't even want to, even like thinking about it now, I don't want to think about January to what is it, June or whatever. Like, man, I was in such like a get it over with, but I still have a chance to win this. So give it everything I have, even all the way down to the way it finished. And as soon as like I had that surgery planned Monday after Salt Lake, no matter what. Salt Lake ended and everything started changing. I didn't almost want to go to surgery. I could deal with the pain for outdoors. Like I was so fired up and wanted to get to this next chapter. And I have surgery Monday morning, half the bones taken out, and my doctor wasn't sure on when it would feel good enough to go race. And you just get that mental kind of click where it's gonna happen no matter what. So that's where I was. Where look, what I did all summer, the most impressive thing for myself was to race at Paula and be competitive, just for the state I was in physically, mentally, and then to show up and be competitive. Like, man, that was awesome. And then right away I was like, that wasn't too hard. Like, I can run up there with these guys. Now it's just figuring out how to do it for 30 plus two. And you guys seen as my season went on, I figured out the first motos. I think I was fourth every single moto from what is it, Southwick on. And then it was figuring out the second moto. So, put two motos together, like pretty strong. And then you could tell that my speed was kind of getting there also, kind of adapting with it. And it was cool because like I was pretty open with it all season long on where I was, and kind of like transparent with the fans too. Like, look, I'm not going to be good these second motos while I'm still dealing with my wrist and figuring that out. And then like whenever you're battling with guys like Tomac and even Hunter there for a bit, that mental switch where it's like, holy crap, like you're this guy now, like you can do this. That was hard, really hard. I'd say when Red Bud was a cool one where I had good speed, and then it's also a track that I've done good at in the years past. So now it's telling yourself you can do it again the next weekend, which we went to Millville, and again I went 4-4 there, one was pretty solid. Yeah, man, just a lot of growth that I can kind of look back on now, the year, and just be proud of, because I haven't been able to do that my whole career.
Did you have you surprised yourself this summer?
Um, no, no, I'll be honest with you, I haven't. And you'll hear me say in interviews like I have more, which I do. I know I do. I haven't. People, like I said, I haven't had the day at the racetrack where I feel as good as what I do during the week. And there's like, yeah, well, that's your practice track and everything else, so old bike, but it's not that. Like, I can do laps whenever I get that comfort and balance consistently at that pace where I can be a little bit further up. I'm not saying Jett's, I'm at that level. Like, the dude's unbelievable. But I can know I can be up there, those tenths that I'm missing right now. Just kind of getting that balance and comfort, that confidence on race day. Um, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I know I can be better. It's just getting there now.
Was there any major difference in, like, what was your biggest surprise in terms of how the guys race in the 450 class, kind of how aggressive they are, the style of racing? Because when I was on a 250, kind of the narrative about the 450 class is they're not as aggressive, they're a little bit more respectful. Have you found the same thing your first season here on a 450?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to Levi about this on the way home this weekend, because we were on the same flight, and man, we talked for almost 2 hours straight, just kind of bouncing ideas and whatever off each other. And the difference between the 250 class is you got 20 guys who believe that they have a shot to go out and win. So if they get a start, they're going to give it everything they have for as long as they can, and then they usually end up going backwards. But you have guys that will hang it out, and they don't care if they're getting whiskey into you. Where the 450 class, you have the guys that know they can, be in the top five, so they'll push to get in that top five. But if they're in there, like, they know they're going backwards anyway, so they're not gonna overdo it, I'd say. But then you also have, I mean, dude, just this weekend, guy lined up next to me on the start, and dude, he came left way too hard, and I mean, I almost took five guys out with me. So it's not like there isn't the guys that do that still. But yeah, just a lot more respect, and you know where you're going to be on the weekends, you know how you're feeling. Where the 250 guys, they don't care. Like, they're gonna kill you for that fifth or sixth place spot.
Yeah, one thing about you, RJ, that I've always respected, and you don't see that much, is your transparency. like positive and negative towards your team. I remember a few years ago, you were struggling with the 250. You couldn't get it right. I forget if it was engine or suspension, and you were pretty transparent and with everybody. And then now that you're where you are now, you're obviously very transparent about yourself. You have more, but I want you to talk about the team because look, I've been in the pits a long time. One of my favorite guys is Nathan Ramsey, your team manager. And he's obviously a Supercross champion, was better kind of later in his career. And what I love most about him, and which I'm sure you appreciate, is just him as a human. Like he's a normal person. And I feel like you could take problems or anything to him and he's going to be a normal human being. You're not just a racer to him. So talk about your guys' relationship a little bit and what he means to you.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Our whole group right now, from the Tony, our crew chief, we have even just my teammate Malk, like two Florida boys, and we are on the same team together. Like just looking at the big picture, like that's awesome. We're literally like little brothers growing up, and to be on the same team's super cool. And like you're saying about Nate, I mean, I talk to him more about, I'd say, personal stuff than I do even really about the races on the weekend. But we just have a really good relationship, and it's hard to find. I mean, especially in our sport. Um, like we gel really good together because I think he relates to me more than anyone else would, because his career is very similar to mine. I mean, we've had ups and downs. He was older, um, even with his kids. Like whenever he had his kids in his career, like the same thing. Like he tried to bring them to the races as much as they could. So yeah, we relate a lot. Have huge respect for each other, and I think that's why, is because we're able to be open. Like if I have a problem, or I'm questioning something, like I'm not gonna go around their back to someone else and say whatever else. Like I go straight to Nate or whoever I need to, and that's where it gets lost, and kind of the miscommunication with a lot of the things, outside of, or not even outside of it, just in our sport. A lot of it's just people not wanting to be upfront, and sometimes it's hard. Like you don't want to ask these questions, or have these conversations. But I've learned throughout my career that's the best thing to do, is to have those tough conversations.
So RJ, transitioning here into SMX, going into Supercross last year, you look at your career so far, you look at it on paper, you're a Supercross champ. Like you're technically, logically better at Supercross. Does that give you confidence going into SMX, going in next year? Do you look at it like, wow, if I can do this outdoors, like I can really make a splash inside?
See, I feel like there's more question marks for Supercross than what there is outdoors for me right now. And you see, like for instance, I'm just gonna do Hunter and Jett right now. How well they're working with their bike. Like those two are riding unbelievable. Like they have so much talent, but the way that they're connected with their bike right now is like next level. Like I'm up there with those guys now, and I can see. I mean, even the Yamahas. Whenever I'm with them, like we're very similar. Kind of actions on the bike, the way it handles, the way it's hitting these bumps and stuff. And like you can tell the difference. I mean, at least for myself, being able to watch now and see it, anyone that, like for AC, I bet you guys can watch and tell the difference in the bikes. And they have the ability to, swap bikes, like how they do that during the race day. I mean, I'm sure you guys, where Jett and Hunter will jump on each other's bikes, like, man, if I had someone I could do that with, like the benefits of that are so high. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even Darren, like Darren's a book of knowledge, so of course, they've got a bunch of resources. But I was joking with Malk a couple weeks ago. I'm like, man, if we were just a little bit closer, like we could do that. I mean, he's got 30 pounds on me or so, but like we're brothers, like we can make this work. Like, and that's where I feel like for outdoors, I was able to adapt pretty fast with it, because they gave me Malcolm's bike, and here and there, where we go Supercross, and it's a lot different. It's gonna take me a little bit. I need a full off season, to get adapted and to learn. Which is I planned on doing that this year. During off, or like before the season started, I was going to spend a lot of time on the 450, because I knew this situation was going to happen, where we're going to go to SMX, and I don't have any time on a Supercross track yet. Well, I didn't get that opportunity because I had another surgery on my wrist. So I literally have 2 days last week on SMX on the 450. So it's going to take some adapting. I mean, you'll see it as the season goes on. I mean, we only have 3 races right now, but I'm saying for next year, uh, I think we'll continue to grow. Don't expect fireworks right off the bat because, I mean, I'm going to try to.
You sure?
Yeah. We're gonna try to ease into it a little bit. We'll see how. I mean, I should have a new setting, I think, this week, which is a little bit more adapted to me because right now they just threw me my 250 setting from last year, which is a lot different than what I've been racing outdoors on. I mean, I've never raced with air stuff until outdoors this year on a 450, so that's a big change going back to spring, which is what I've been on, the last week or so on SMX, which I'm I'm kind of going away from now. Like I like that air feeling. So I'm hoping that kind of brings a little bit more comfort. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Give me a few days on SMX, and then I'm excited, man. Like I talked about it before. It's this new motivation that I haven't had in years. And it's good to have because I mean, honestly, I thought my career was kind of ending here. And it's in the next couple of years. Like I would say 23, I'm like, all right, maybe I have a couple years left. Well, now it's 2025. I'm 29 years old. I'm like, man, who knows where the ceiling's at right now? I mean, I know I have a few more good years in me.
Yeah, don't let that age. Don't let that fool you. You can go as long as you want. Trust me, I'm living proof of that. And you talked about Tommy Fleetwood earlier. It's so funny because I was watching that with my wife, and I think he had 160 something starts.
Yeah.
And I forget what amount of top fives, but I'm like, man, that kind of sounds like me. So I looked up how many top fives I had and how long it took me to get a win. And like, it's so funny to see, not funny, but it's really inspirational to see guys like that. And even for me to see a guy like yourself, I mean, you literally could have 10 more years if you truly, truly wanted it. And the best is yet to come for sure. Excited to watch you in SMX. That's going to be a ton of fun, but talk about that just a little bit more on the challenges for the setup, because year one, I remember seeing an interview with you on, no one really knew. Like, people were running supercross stuff, some people running outdoor stuff. Is there a blend in the middle now that you're trying to shoot for, or do you more towards supercross, more towards motocross? Where are you at right now?
See, like I was big enough and kind of strong enough on the 250 where I could just run my supercross setting and just soften it up a little bit here and there. And that's what they sent me. Like what I rode this week on was just full supercross suspension from my 250 last year. Um, so I don't have an answer for you yet. And it's hard to replicate those racetracks, especially the SMX during the week. Like all we do is connect supercross track with a little bit of outdoor track, which they're a lot different. I mean, dude, Charlotte, so high speed. You never know if they're gonna throw a quad in there in the rhythms, which they have been doing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a kind of open book. Like I feel like I can be kind of in this area where I was at the end of outdoors. But also it's going to depend a lot on, how I'm feeling comfort wise. And my starts will be good. I'm confident in those because we did make a change to those last 2 rounds, which I wish I would have done earlier. And I mean, the last 4 motos were the best starts I've had all year. So I'm pretty confident I can get a start. We'll see. I mean, we'll adapt with you guys as it goes on here.
Appreciate you, RJ. If you don't mind, let's get into a few fan questions, if you're good with it.
Yep.
All right. So first, I've never seen RJ so consistent and smooth. What does RJ think is a large contributing factor? Not having the pressure to push it to win races and championships since it's his rookie 450 year, or is it not having to push the bike for everything it's got with that 450 power?
Yeah, the difference, I mean, I kind of touched on it a little bit in the, talking earlier, but the big difference between 250 and 450 and my riding style is not being on that limit, on that edge the entire time. So whenever you do have those little mistakes or here and there, like you have that power to kind of make up for it. I ride the same. Like, yeah, I haven't changed anything. I'm not thinking differently on the bike. But when you have that power, you're able to pick and choose different lines. Like if I want to go around a kicker on the 450, I can go around it. where that 250 you can't. Like, you're trying to get everything possible out of it. Which, I mean, a lot of the times it's the rougher lines, and you got to carry so much more momentum, where one little mistake, it costs you a lot, which you see my mistakes, and I didn't have anywhere else to go with power wise. So then you're hitting the ground immediately.
With such quick success in the 450, does RJ wish he would have moved up sooner, or did his 250 journey prepare him for where he is now?
In our sport, it's very hard to get a 450 factory rod, and you guys can kind of speak on it. Like, you're gonna go where the money is. And I never had an opportunity to race a 450. And with my 250 salary and bonuses, I probably made more than a lot of the 450 guys did just off of what I did in the 250 class. Like I said, I have a family. You have to, support them, and you want to win a 250 championship before you go to the 450. Yeah, it took me 10 years, but I finally got one. So this was kind of the plan all along. You win that championship, and then you get a 450, opportunity. It's funny because I look back on it, and I even was telling like Murph, did I waste years? Like, could I have done more? But also it shaped me into who I am now, and kind of the outlook I am, have on our sport, my life. So I wouldn't take anything back.
Did he accomplish what he wanted to this year, and did he expect to finish where he did?
Outdoors, I accomplished what I wanted. I mean, that was the goal, is to prove I can be a top guy or a front runner. For the whole, from January to June, I would say no. But yeah, from then on, like I said, my outdoor season was awesome. Nothing too crazy, I would say, but consistent, and yeah, just proved I can be a 450 guy.
Lastly, what's your opinion on the season length? And then what is your weekly schedule during the season as far as training?
See, that's a hard question for myself, because I haven't raced the full 450 Supercross rounds. So right now I'm on 21. Yeah, I'm on 21 rounds, which is great. I still feel fine, but that extra 7 rounds for that 450, it's a lot. I mean, I'd say this extra month of racing, like, it definitely takes a lot out of you, and you can see that now in our sport. I mean, we only have 2 guys that have raced all the rounds. I think it's Jay Coop and Malcolm. Um, I mean, if that's what you want, then yeah, keep the racing like this. But if you want everybody to, still be in it and have that kind of motivation at the end of the season, as what they did kind of in the beginning or even in the middle, yeah, I'd say it's a little bit too long.
My last question for you, RJ, is you came into Supercross. You're giving yourself a hard time in Supercross, not getting the job done, but you did come in a little under the gun there with the wrist injury. You were talking about getting that surgery less than 2 weeks before the start of the summer. Where are we at health wise now? You good to go? Ready to go for SMX?
Yeah, no, and that's the big thing that I starting to question, even kind of 3 to 4 weeks into that outdoor season, because I was still having pain. But it didn't compare to what I was dealing with during Supercross. I mean, if you look back on all the crashes I had during Supercross, every single one of them was in a transition in the rhythms going left. Every single crash was going left onto a tough block. Whether you even look at Salt Lake, in the heat race, well, it's my left wrist. It was just so weak and painful. Like, man, I was dealing with so much. So to have that relief now and the strength around it, man, it's huge. Like, I'm almost to that point where I don't even think about it yet, but I can race without tape and, taking ibuprofen and everything else. So I'd say my health is the best it's been since, I won my championship in 24.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's great to hear, man. We'll be rooting for you in the SMX series coming up here in Charlotte. Enjoy the weekend off. We appreciate your time, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Well, good stuff from RJ, huh? AC?
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
with RJ, and I appreciate that a lot. And you made a great point too. He's one of those guys that he's been really good for a long time, but not quite at that podium, kind of winning all the time level where he gets talked about a lot. But I think now that he's finding himself more in the spotlight with his results, I really think he's going to be a fan favorite here for however long he's racing, because he is like, dude, he kind of just defines a Florida guy for me. Like, no BS. Like he doesn't trash the team like you said, but he's not afraid to tell it how it is. I like RJ, and that guy's just a dog, man. Like,
he is
one of the maybe the toughest dude in the sport.
He absolutely is, and he's so relatable, right? Just to the normal person at home. Him and AP, I would say, are the two most relatable to just your average guy sitting on the couch watching Supercross and Motocross. And I think his story needs to be told a little bit more, just like his baseball background in high school, going to public school. I didn't even know. You mentioned he quit for 5 years. I didn't know that. And then started back up when he was like 15. That's unheard of for people of the level that he's at today. That does not happen.
No, it doesn't happen at all. I mean, you remember back in the day hearing about how McGrath did BMX and then until he was 14, and then, won a title in the C class. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that to an extent. And in the modern age with kids now, even around my time, like kids were starting to go to MTF and training facilities. So the one thing I will say, and we'll move on after this, the one thing that I will say about kind of the two different paths that RJ brought up, like the homeschool training facility kind of path versus him, taking years off, playing other sports, going to public school. Like my kind of path, the training facility, no school, all that is great because you're not going to get caught off guard with what you have to do at the next level. Like RJ was talking about, I knew what I had to do. I had all the resources I needed physically to go out there and get the job done. One thing that I will say about someone like your path, RJ, I think having a chance when you're a kid to have an identity in yourself separate from the dirt bike, I think that's one of the reasons why guys like you, guys like RJ, are some of the coolest guys in the sport, is because they don't, I mean, of course it matters a lot, just like anybody's work matters a lot to them, but I think you guys kind of have your identity separate outside. And that shows up kind of in a different way than guys that went my route.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, like most things are in life. I think it can hold, like RJ mentioned, it took him longer to figure it out. He's just kind of now figuring it out. I can relate to that. I mean, it held me back big time on just the belief system of trying to battle guys like Ryan Villapoto or Ryan Dungey, guys like I looked up to for so long. And I'm sure he's dealing with the same stuff. He's trying to beat one of the best we've ever seen in Jett Lawrence. He's looked up to Eli Tomac for so long. So it's definitely a double-edged sword, but I think he'll have more longevity. And I hope he takes what I said serious about the age, because he said he's 29 multiple times, And when I was turning 30, I remember thinking, like, I was almost a little embarrassed to be around because I'm like this 30-year-old old man still racing. And then I started to find, like, wait, I'm the best version of myself I've ever been. Like, I can still beat these guys. I can still get on the podium. I can still win a race. And I ended up doing that. And man, I've said it multiple times, but I literally felt the best physically, mentally, home life, everything. I felt the best of my entire career from like 31 to 36. I just did. And I think it's showing up more than ever now with Eli being older and Kenny and Anderson. All these guys are a lot of these guys are older. Cooper Webb just winning a championship. He's almost 30 years old. So I like it for our sport. I love it for a guy like RJ. I'm a big fan. And I think it's given a lot of these 250 guys hope as well when they see a guy like RJ go up and say, oh, I can have success at the next level, because you hit the nail on the head. Even if you're a 250 motocross champ like yourself, and even if you're great on a 250, always that thought of like, can I race those guys? I've watched those guys for 10 plus years now. Can I race them?
And it's a satisfying feeling when you're on a 450 too. If you achieve your goals on any given Saturday, there's no other step. There's no other step to go. Like you're there. You did it.
Best of the best. Yeah.
You have to keep proving yourself, of course. You can never settle, but there's something to be said of like, there is nowhere else to go. And that's a pretty surreal feeling. But the more you talk, the more you and RJ were talking, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should just have a couple kids, find some miracle cure for this nerve damage, and maybe I should make a comeback at like 35. What do you think? You gonna be my trainer,
I'm into it.
agent?
I'm into it. I just want to be in the stands hanging out and watch it. That's all.
Hey, how about Jett? How about Jett goon riding the last lap?
That was great.
Second moto.
That was great.
Like you got things under control when you're doing a full. He did the full Ronnie Mac nose down over the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
That's next level. My question for you, and we got to give Hunter his props too. He rode great, and I think that if Hunter's pace if he wasn't dialed in, I think Jett would have won the race, but I think Hunter was riding well enough to where Jett didn't want to push it. He wasn't motivated to push it any more than he was. So I don't know. I don't think that he necessarily let Hunter win more than just Hunter was riding at a really good pace and he just wasn't trying to risk it like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we started the show with of Budds Creek, that track. Really difficult to pass. You've got to be much faster than the person in front of you to pass them. You got to get creative. Although Jett, look, if things were on the line and championship was on the line, it's hard not to think that Jett couldn't get it done. But I think he would have had to push over a comfort zone or into a zone that he didn't want to push last moto of the year. But I'm with you. I mean, I think Hunter's just incredible. We talked about him multiple times. He's unbelievable. He's everything you can say positive about a person, I would say about Hunter Lawrence. It's just, unfortunately, we're witnessing one of the best, if not the best, to ever throw his leg over a motorcycle in his younger brother, Jett Lawrence. And Jett gets it done again, 1-2 on the day. Hunter, 3-1. These guys are 1-2 all the time. And it's got to be so fun. Look, in the moment, you can attest to this. In the moment, it's so hard to look in the mirror and smile. It's so hard to enjoy the travel and the results. And then, I got to do another bike ride. And then I got to go to the gym. And then when you're out of it, you're like, man, that was pretty
cool.
fun. Like, it was really fun. So I hope, and they seem like they are more than most, enjoying the moment now, because these are the days that they're going to look back on and be like, can you believe what we did? So I'm sure they're enjoying it, but man, it's a special time to be a fan of the sport. For you and I to be there each and every Supercross, now these 3 SMX races, to be on here and talk about it, it's pretty special what the Lawrence brothers are doing.
It is. And it doesn't, I don't know, who knows? It could never happen again. We've talked about it a million times, but just, I don't know, man, the consistency and everything that you see with both Hunter and Jett, it always looks sustainable. When you watch those guys ride, it looks like they can do that. Sometimes we always make golf references, but you see somebody with some crazy swing that's doing well. You're like, that's not going to be a sustainable. Like, he's not going to be able to dominate for 10 years with that swing. When you watch those guys ride a bike, it's like their base technique is so good that it's almost kind of limitless how much better they can get. Like, they're just going to continue to get harder and harder to beat. In saying that, SMX, look, Eli Tomac probably didn't have the outdoor season that he wanted to have, had some great moments in there. But I really think we're at that point in Eli's career where everything's a bonus. And I really don't want to give him too much crap for not having a great weekend here or there. I'm just stoked he's out there. And I think we're all talking about, which we should be, I think Chase Sexton is going to come in hot for SMX. Of course, Jett's the favorite. Hunter's right there. But I think Chase is coming in hot. And, dude, I think Eli's coming too. I really do. I don't think, we were talking about it a little bit with RJ, but just watching Eli's bike this summer, there was a few races where I was like, he looks pretty dialed in. But there's a lot of races where I just don't think that he was completely comfortable on the bike. And I think SMX is a little bit easier to get the setup right. We know that he has a good setting in Supercross. He proved this year that he can win. I see no reason why we can't have the Chase, the Eli, the Jett, Hunter, all those guys together, great time to be a fan, JB.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing about SMX. You have to be your very best version of yourself for 3 weekends. 6 gate drops, 3 weekends. And I think no matter what age you are, look, I'm a huge fan of Eli Tomac, but I do know once you get older, it's hard to find your very best for 17 weeks in Supercross and 11 weekends in Motocross and for 8 months total. I think he'll be able to dig deep and bring his very best stuff to Charlotte, St. Louis, and Las Vegas, as Chase Sexton will, as Jett will, as Hunter will. J. Coop, number 1 seed, going in with 25 points. He could be a factor with some great starts. Ken Roxon coming back. Like, it's going to be so fun to watch. And I think the biggest thing is that reset and now round 1. What's the favorite time for me? Favorite time of the year, every year, Anaheim 1. Round 1, yep. You don't know what to expect. Everyone has the belief. And then you go to Paula, round 1 of Pro Motocross. Oh, what do we like? What's going to happen here? Everyone has the belief in motocross. They struggled in Supercross, and now this is their time to shine. Well, now we get another opportunity to see that in a week and a half of this total reset. Now everyone's as comfortable as they can possibly be with their team and their motorcycle, and 3 weekends for $1 million in the 450 class. I can't wait.
Coming in high. I got the suits ready.
Let's go.
I got the suits ready, JB. Huh? We're pre-show, post-show, race day live. You're riding on what, Thursday or Friday?
I think Friday morning.
Friday, we might test out the in-helmet communication system again. It's all happening, and I can tell you what, it's been a great summer. I really have had a fantastic summer. Like just taking a breath, smelling the roses, enjoying it. It's been amazing. But I'm ready to work again, dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm coming in hot. I'm getting my hair, like I'm done going to sports clips and getting my hair done. Like before you go to the race before I do live TV, like I got an appointment at a salon.
I like your style.
We're going down to the mall. My girlfriend and I are going down to the mall in San Diego tomorrow just to go full business cash attire. Like, dude, I'm getting the Rolex fitted. Like we're coming in. I am so highly motivated, coming in here. You may have to like tell me to chill.
No, I love it. It's amazing what 12 months will do.
It feels like 12 months.
No, your suit 12 months ago compared to where you're going to be now.
Yeah, we're going to be dialed.
I have a question though. So I got this little hairdo going on. Can you see that little?
Oh yes.
Something in the back.
Yes.
Do I keep that, or is it a little too much?
I mean, is that some foreshadowing for Australia? Maybe it looks like an Australian haircut.
Really?
I've never seen it. Oh yeah, that's like a little. We got a little. Is that like a little mullet situation?
I mean, a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
My wife Paige kind of likes it, and for all you married men at home, if your wife likes something, she even liked the mustache a few weeks ago. So I'm not bringing the mustache back, but you fans, let me know if that's a little bit much. If it's not professional, I'll shave it off. But if it's in the front, you can't even tell. But,
no, it's sick, dude. That's like full business up here, then side profile. It's like that guy parties.
It's playoff season. That's what I want. I mean, business in the front and it's playoff. It's postseason, baby, in the back.
Yes, sir. JB, I mean, dude, look, 11 outdoor rounds. I think we've said everything that's needed to be said. One thing I will say, Justin Cooper, SMX going in number 1 seed. Right? Number 1 seed, raced every single race this year. I just think that guy is probably like in a dark room right now with all the blinds shut, maybe like curled up into a ball, getting ready for SMX. Like he just needs to go and hibernate in his room for like a week to come out motivated for SMX. But got to give J. Coop his props, man.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say is he mentioned publicly, like he's like, I don't really get anything for it, get the points, but I think we need something for that AC. I think $100,000 next year, regular season winner, $100,000 for 450s, $50,000 for 250s if you're the number 1 seed. What do you think?
Oh, I'm 100% on board. I think there has to be something.
Yeah.
There has to give the guy a car. Give the guy a hot air balloon, an all expenses paid trip to Hawaii, something.
Gotta be something.
It's gotta happen. It's too good. It's too much of an accomplishment for there not to be anything involved in there. I may show up with a couple bucks in my pocket just to pay my respects.
There you go. Love it. Well, AC, we're back to work. We'll have one more show. We'll do a little SMX preview, talk about Charlotte. And you're coming to Charlotte next week, dude. We're playing some golf. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
Early flight in on Wednesday. Look forward to, maybe you can put Paige on the couch and, maybe I could have the master. I don't know. No, man, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to working again. And yes, we will be back next week with an SMX preview. Really looking forward to going back to the races, seeing everybody again, man. I miss it. This is my industry. It will always be my industry. And I know you feel the same. But to our listeners, thank you for the support so far this year. It's been super fun getting this show off the ground, JB. Really enjoyed doing this. Shout out our producer, Cole Beach, Shane Doyle, Converge Media, Pork. All you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.